Abu Yazid Taifur shivered. The night was very cold. It was also very quiet while he was busy with his prayer to please Allah. Everyone else was asleep, but not quite everyone. Abu realized this when he heard his mother's voice calling him. He went at once to find out what she wanted. "My son," she asked, "please bring me a drink of water." It seemed a simple request, but when Abu looked for water in the house, he discovered that finding it was not easy. He found a jug, but it was empty. Next, searching round, he discovered a pitcher, but that too was quite empty. "Well," Abu said to himself, "it seems there's no water in the house." Today, of course, you would not have such a problem finding water in the house. All you have to do is turn on a tap, and there it is. But Abu Yazid lived a long time ago when there were no taps in people's houses. Instead, people had to go to the well or the river to fetch water. So Abu prepared to walk to the river to fetch some water for his mother, even though the night was very cold, and the river was quite a distance away. Just as he was about to leave, though, he noticed that his mother had gone back to sleep. "Well," he thought, "she cannot drink water while she's asleep, so maybe I should go back to my prayer and forget about it." However, the thought made Abu unhappy. It did not seem right simply to forget about his mother's request, even if she had dozed off to sleep again. Abu loved his mother very much, and knew how much he owed her. She had worked hard for many years so that he could go to school and get a good education. Abu knew what great hopes she had for his future, and how she endured great sadness when his father died, leaving her to bring up their son on her own. Abu's father, Isa, had been the son of a Zoroastrian, but he became a Muslim and a very faithful one, and was much honored in the town of Bistam in northeastern Iran, where he lived with his family. Abu was very young when his father died, but his mother was determined that this would make no difference to Abu's education. However much hard work it meant for her, she was resolved that he should stay at school and learn all he could. One day, though, Abu came home from school unexpectedly. His mother was surprised. "Why, Abu," she said, "why have you come home at this hour?" She was very worried at this unusual happening, and began thinking of all sorts of reasons. Perhaps the school had been distributing prizes to the students, and Abu had come home to tell her what he had won. Maybe there had been some sort of a ceremony there, and afterwards the boys had all been sent home early, or perhaps, and this really worried Abu's mother, perhaps there was something wrong. Abu hastened to explain his sudden arrival because he did not like to see his mother so worried. "No, no, nothing is wrong," he told her, "and nothing special is going on at school either." "Then why are you here?" his mother wanted to know. "I was learning the Quran," Abu explained, "and as I was reading, I came to the verse, 'Be thankful to me and to your parents.' I found this verse very moving, Mother, very moving indeed, but I was not sure exactly what it meant, so I asked my teacher. He explained the meaning of the verse, but I was not really satisfied with the answer." "What is the problem, my son?" Abu's mother wanted to know. "The problem is that I cannot see how I can be thankful to God and thankful to you at the same time. I cannot split myself in two." Abu sighed, very puzzled by his dilemma. "Either you ask me from God so that I may be entirely yours, or you give me to God so that I may be entirely his. It has to be one or the other, doesn't it?" Abu's mother smiled and gave her son an affectionate kiss. "My son," she told him, "I give you to God. Now go and serve him." As he stood in the cold, dark house, Abu remembered this episode, and remembered his mother's words. And remembering all this, he knew what he had to do about that drink of water she had asked him to get for her a few minutes before. His mind made up, Abu took hold of the big pitcher, let himself quietly out of the house, and set off on the long journey to the river. When he got there, he filled the pitcher full of water and carried it back home. When he got home, Abu found his mother was still fast asleep. Moving quietly so as not to disturb her, he poured out some of the water he had brought back from the river into the bowl. Then he stood by the side of his mother's bed with the bowl in his hand, waiting for the moment when she awoke again. Abu's mother slept a long time, but eventually when she woke up, she found her son still standing by her bedside. In his hand, waiting for her to drink, he held the bowl of water.
يا أمي الله أوصانا بالأم إحسانا الله أوصانا بالأم إحسانا كم ليلة سهرات من أجلنا أمي
You are a fine boy, Abu, she said with a smile. She took the bowl from him and drank some of the water. Afterwards she blessed him for his kindness and concern for her. All the same, she was very upset to see how tired he looked because he had stayed awake throughout the long, cold night. "Why did you not leave the water, my son, and go back to bed?" she exclaimed. "It would have been quite easy for me to pour myself a drink when I woke up. You should not have taken such trouble." Abu regarded his mother with great affection. "I was afraid that you might wake up when I was not here to give you the water," he explained. "I did not want that to happen. After all, you asked me for water, and it would not be right had you got up and not found me ready to give it to you." Abu's mother gave him a loving kiss and smiled at him. "Bless you, my son," she murmured, thinking how wonderful it was to have a son like him. Then she made another request of Abu. "This room is rather stuffy," she said. "Please keep the door half open so that we can get some fresh air inside." Once again, Abu Yazid Taifour was very careful to do exactly as his mother requested. He spent the rest of the night until the dawn broke, watching the door to see that it remained half open and did not close accidentally, perhaps, because of a gust of wind. Many years later, when he had grown old, Abu Yazid Taifour told the story of the night when his mother made two requests of him. And this is how he ended his story. "At the hour of dawn," he recounted, "that which I had sought so many times through prayer, the pleasure of Allah, my Lord, entered by the door which I kept half open to please my mother." Abu Yazid, who became a true Muslim and a great scholar and a godly man, often referred to these events throughout his life, and impressed on those who heard him how very important it was to please one's mother. "In pleasing my mother," he said, "I achieved all I wanted to achieve through my many acts of worship and self-discipline." "It is strange," Abu went on, "that the task which I once thought should come last, pleasing my mother, should turn out to be the one that must come first."